So the second step is to identify the transformational value of your VIP day. Okay, so number one, enroll yourself first. Number two, identify the transformational value of your VIP day. So one exercise that's been really helpful for myself and my clients to really identify this is you can grab a new piece of paper, okay? And then just draw a line down the middle and then make two columns like this. And on the left-hand side, just write pain points. Okay. And on the right-hand side, write solutions. So as you think about your ideal client, you can start bullet pointing out what are the main pain points that you hear from your ideal clients that they have. Like what even right now, if you just want to think about that person that you chatted, you put in the chat, person that represents your ideal client. What are some of their pain points to the best of your ability to know what they struggle with? Okay. And then once you do that, next to each of these bullet points that you jot down, write down a solution from your point of view. What is the solution to that pain point? And you might notice that you might have some of the same solutions to their several different pain points. But when you do this exercise, I'll just speak for myself. What I've noticed is that I can really help them to overcome the very thing that they're struggling with. Right. So for example, I'm a messaging person, right? So a lot of times people come to me, my clients come to me saying, yeah, I feel like my messaging's all over the place, or I'm not attracting enough of the right fit clients. And I feel like I'm just not speaking to them, or I'm not getting in front of enough people. So I may jot down those pain points, and then next to them, I'll write down what my recommended solution is, knowing that these are some of the things we could handle in a VIP day. Got it? Is this helpful so far? Just thinking through like, okay, there's some of the pain points. Here's some of the solutions. Also, this is something I don't know who said it first, or I'd give them credit, but I recently heard someone share, I wrote this down, how I versus how to. I love this. So meaning when people want access to the expert, they're wanting access to you because they want to know how you did it versus how to do it. Does that make sense? So if they just wanted a how-to, they would Google it or chat GPT it, or they'd find a YouTube video on it. If they were just looking for a how-to, they'd read a book, right? They're not just looking for a how-to. They want how you. Isn't that cool?
Amy, could you
Yes.
give us like an example of how that's like been implemented for you?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, even with VIP days, right? I mean, I could say step number one, create a VIP day package, right? Step number two, so, I mean, like, they don't want just a step-by-step. I'm not saying step-by-step process is great, but they want insights into how you did it, right? So storytelling is great. Examples are great. So instead of me just saying, this is the first step you do, here's the second step you do, instead I infuse storytelling, and I'll share even the story that I just shared about how I broke through my mindset around charging $5,000 for a VIP. Here's how I did it. I focused on that, shifted my mindset. I focused on them. I did an exercise like this. So this is how I did it. So anytime each of you sit down, thank you, Katie, for that great question. Anytime you sit down and think about it, even when you think through the pain points, it's very likely that you yourself have experienced those pain points, or have at least had clients or people in your life that you've helped overcome those pain points. So just think about, how have I overcome that pain point? There might be many different ways people overcome that pain point, but how did you do it? Got it?
That's awesome.
People want to know. They want to know from you because you're the expert. Okay, cool. Dixie says, actually, I wrote that in Just Blow It Up 13 years ago. Okay, Dixie, maybe I'm quoting you. Maybe it got passed around and it got to me. So I love that, how I versus how to. The other exercise that has been really helpful to really identify the transformational value, and you can do this later today, so I don't suggest doing this now, but think about, what is the testimonial I would love for them to write at the end of the day? So I just am inviting you, encouraging you to carve out a little time, maybe later today when it's fresh in your mind. Like, okay, if I could channel my ideal client, my ideal VIP day client, and I'm imagining us wrapping up our day, what would I love to write? Like, if I were them writing a testimonial, what would I say, right? Like for me, I would probably say something like, wow, I just completed my VIP day with Amy Yamada. And then think about what was the problem they came in with. Like when I first came to meet up with her, I was struggling. I've been struggling for months with my messaging. I wasn't attracting enough the right fit clients. I felt like all my strategies were all over the place. So I came to her, I shared with her all the things that I was doing, like a big messy puzzle. And we got rid of anything that wasn't working for me. We gained clarity on what my messaging is and who my ideal client is. And we put together such a clear and simple plan that I know I can implement. And I'm so grateful, right? Something along those lines. But if you connect in on a deep level with your ideal client, and you take a little bit of time to write down what this testimonial could sound like, then this testimonial can be your inspiration. It can be your North Star of what you're working towards. Cool? Awesome. Okay, so I'd love to do a quick check-in. So as you have been perhaps jotting down some bullet points of pain points and solutions, can you just put in the chat one of the pain points and the attached solution, just so I can see what you're coming up with, make sure everyone's getting this? So just put pain point and solution. And if you're watching the replay of this, if you just want to just revisit it, look at it, feel into it, and just know that these are some of the solutions you will likely be offering in a VIP day with your client. Cool? Yeah, it's saying powerful. It is powerful. It's exciting. I think that when I look back now to my previous mentor nudging me that year to offer these VIP days, I had so many limiting beliefs around it. And I'm so glad, when you just have a really great coach that just nudges you just enough, like, you can do this, you can do this, like, trust me, you can do this. She could see something I couldn't see, and so it just is really neat to look back now. And then when I did VIP days for a while, then I focused on some other things. And then when I brought them back, it was so much easier. So yeah, so you can just put in the chat one pain point and one solution. Okay. You're all probably like, look, I could see some of you, write them down. That's great. You are doing great. Okay. Lisa says, problem, too much manual work to offer services. Solution, automating sign up, payment, and booking. Yeah, that's great. The other thing that I wanted to mention is you can do, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, is you can do a done with you day, a done for you day. In addition to offering VIP days, I myself have invested in VIP days. There was one that I did last year with a social media expert, and we did a content VIP day. So she, she had me crank out 36 videos to turn into reels in a day. And she guided me through the process of it so I could do it again. But it was just so neat to have someone just like, okay, now let's go over here. Let's go over here, like to have different backgrounds. She's like, okay, now put on a different top. She came out to my home and we did it all here. So you could do a done with you day. All right, I'm seeing some of your other current pain points and solutions. Oh yeah, Giselle says, the solution they want for me to do it for them. So again, you can decide if you're willing to do it for them or do it with them. Totally cool. Yep, great. Another one saying, Emily's saying, pain point, messaging is sloppy and the brand doesn't have a point of view. Solution, done for you copy, including claim, TOV, and mission statement. Great. These are really, really strong. Okay, cool. I'm going through this. If you have any, we'll have a little bit of time for questions as well, but feel free to pop in a question into the chat. Okay. So we've started off with enrolling yourself first. That's number one. Step two, identifying the transformational value of your VIP day. Okay. And I didn't round up to the question. So let me ask you, whether you've been offering VIP days already or you're starting now, what would you like to charge for your VIP days? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Now that you're enrolling yourself, you're getting into it, you're feeling the value of it, what would you like to charge? And for those of you who said raise, I'm believing in the honor system today. So give yourself a raise today. Be super fun. Okay. 5,000, 15, now charging 11. Great. 2K, but you inspired me to go with 5K. Awesome, Emily. Yeah, I struggled with 5K, but I did it. Some of my clients will start at 2K or 2,500, but I'm telling you, like I had so many disbeliefs around 5K and then I just did it. Like it was great.